Yes, Ron McNeil, we'll start off with you. What is your position on the don't ask, don't tell policy regarding gays in the military?
I don't think he's going to want to vote for me. That's about all I got to say.
Mr. McNeil, we appreciate your candidate.
Shut him up, Doc.
All right, then, we'll let you try to follow that. Steve Sutherland, what is your position on the don't ask, don't tell policy regarding gays in the military?
Don't ask, don't tell what? That's tough to follow right there. I think that obviously, people that want to change this are individuals that are dead set on making sure that political correctness is a part of every part of our society. In our military, in our education system, on the battlefield, in every area of our life, they want to look out for the small minority so that you and I, the majority of this country, is inconvenienced, that our security is always at question. I do not believe that we need to tinker with that. I think that don't ask, don't tell. I think our military, we need to make sure that political correctness stays out of the barracks, and I think it also needs to stay out of the battlefields.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sutherland. What is your position on the don't ask, don't tell policy regarding gays in the military?
Well, without offending anybody, but I think with Ron, I don't know that that's possible now. I think that this is silliness, and this is what I've said in the beginning. It's my understanding that this policy is working and it's fine. We do not have time to deal with silly stuff. If it's working. We've got problems in our economy that are serious and substantial. We are on a parallel course with Greece. If we don't fix this in the next 18 to 24 months, it won't matter who you ask or who you tell. We don't have the luxury to address these issues that aren't important to what we're facing right now, which are our economy, are our national security. I don't think that affects it. We need to stop the silliness and call it for what it is, just plain foolishness.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wilson. We'll go to Dave Scholl. What is your position on the don't ask, don't tell policy regarding gays in the military?
You want to get him 30?
Oh, you know what? That didn't even occur to me. Okay, all right. Okay, we'll go to Dave Scholl then. What is your position on the don't ask, don't tell policy regarding gays in the military?
And as a 28-year Air Force veteran, and anybody that's been in the military for any amount of time, you already know that we do have gays in the military. Current policy, don't ask, don't tell, it works fine. It's been that policy since the early days of the Clinton administration. It seems to work fine for the military. They don't have a problem with it, so why should our president? Oh, that's right, he's never been in the military. It's going to raise more problems than it's going to solve. It's going to cause problems with housing issues, barracks issues, and on and on and on. Right now, we have so many things right now in the fire. If the president would resolve the war issues, if he could balance the budget, if he would pay down the deficit, if he would get our unemployment down to 4%, if he would ensure that everybody in America wanted to work, then yes, I would be willing to sit down and talk with him about gays in the military and don't ask, don't tell. So if he takes care of all the other problems in America, then we can have this discussion. Until that time, keep your eye on the ball, keep us safe, balance our budgets, and bring our troops home.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scholl. And finally, Eddie Hendry. The question for you, what is your position on the don't ask, don't tell policy regarding gays in the military?
being a former Army officer, you had to tell to keep them out back in the Reagan years. It hurts combat effectiveness to have gays. But the thing about it is, and everybody here is right, the troops will weed out who needs to be weeded out. You don't have to worry about that. And anybody that served in the military knows that. I agree that we need to keep our eye on the ball and worry about the things like national security, the economy. This is a political issue, social issue that the liberals are trying to push forward to distract us from the real problem.
I think we got time for a couple more questions. Does that sound about right? A couple more questions. So I'm going to reverse the order on my piece of paper here, and I think everybody who was in charge of putting them together will understand why. We want to start now with, let me make sure I get it right, Steve Sutherland. With a national debt at nearly $13 trillion currently, what specifically would you do to reduce this nation's immense debt?
You know, our government spending as a part of GDP has been since World War II always between 18 and 20%. Under this current administration, we are pushing 24% of our GDP. That is unsustainable. We are giving our children a hole that they cannot dig themselves out of. This individual who is in the White House has never met a budget, ever. He's never sweated a payroll. He's never known the pressures that many of you and I know in running a business. It is time that we practice fiscal responsibility. It is time that we spent less than we had coming in, serviced our debt, and give our children future and opportunity that my parents gave to me, and my children who are sitting here today deserve nothing less.
Thank you, Mr. Sutherland. Appreciate that. Ms. Olshner, Barbara Olshner, with the national debt at nearly $13 trillion, what specifically would you do to reduce the nation's immense debt?
All right, the first thing that we have to do, and this is not popular, but we have to address the problem we have with our entitlements, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Currently, it is 65% of our budget. By the year 2040, every tax dollar will go to our entitlements, and that was before 30 million more people were added to Medicaid under Obamacare, and that was before another entitlement called the Class Act was added under Obamacare. We can't do anything about our budget if we can't attack Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. This is not going to be hard. I mean, not going to be easy. This is going to be hard. We're going to have to ask people to make sacrifices, but we can do something about this. But we need to tell the American people the truth. We will not balance the budget without addressing this.
Thank you, Ms. Dave Shull, with the national debt at nearly $13 trillion currently, what specifically would you do to reduce this nation's immense debt?
To paraphrase Carville, the problem with our government is it's spending stupid. Government is just continuing to spend, and I mentioned it earlier in my opening remarks. Right now they want to go to a limit of spending $37,000 per family. If we can get government back to where they were spending prior to the Bush years of $20,000 per family, we will be able to balance the budget in less than 2 years. And that is going to be difficult. Do I think this government has the wherewithal to do that? No. We are going to have to address Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. That's $45 trillion in unfunded liabilities. It does not go on the books. It is not part of the budget. It is not addressed. That needs to be part of the budget discussion. Those programs right now are growing on autopilot. What we need to do is secure those for people that are 55 and older. Your programs aren't going to change. 55 and younger, you are going to be part of the solution. We're going to give you your own Social Security fund with a 30-year money going into your own fund, and we'll do the same with your health care.
Thank you. Eddie Henry, with the national debt at nearly $13 trillion, what specifically would you do to reduce this nation's immense debt?